Hey everybody, Jason here. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my thought process about what's going on with my positions and with Tesla and the bonds and everything else that's really affecting most of us that are trading any sort of tech stocks or in them, unless we're short and listen to people who thought we were in quite a bubble and took advantage of that. So I guess unfortunately I didn't. Um, so where am I at now? I've lost $100,000 worth of account value over the past month or month or so, and so a few of my thoughts, like overall, I'm not really mad, right? Because or too upset because overall my year is up a couple 100,000. So relative to that, that's not upsetting. But I also don't want to just sit on it and just continue to bleed out money. Like that doesn't make sense. Um, so my couple things that I know are working against me. One is my just solid belief in Tesla and the company and the rebound of the stock price. I I see it in the future as a $3,000 or $4,000 stock. And this is like just simple math. Like this is 2030 numbers. This is not, next year numbers or by the end of the year or anything like that. But this is 2030, like just simple math. They're supposed to have 100,000 robo taxis making $30,000 a year. That's 300 billion. You don't even need a high PE ratio to make it valued at that. So, and that's without solar, without any of the energy, the batteries, the software leasing to other companies or anything like that. I do know there's competition coming, but I believe they're light years ahead. I mean, they are literally years ahead, and it's been said over and over that one of the biggest constraints is battery production, and they're definitely way ahead on that. And just from the battery aspect alone, their production plus what they get from their suppliers also points to them being very far ahead. Whether or not that's realized short term or longer term, I can't say. I think there's a lot of catching up to do as far as the understanding of what the company is about. Even just when I talk to people or talk to friends, etc. What is Tesla? Oh, they're the company that made your car. Okay, great. But they don't know about all the other sides of it and all the other upside potential. I mean, Elon has said several times that the solar side, the energy side, is going to be larger than the automotive side. So that's pretty huge. So in my mind, I believe it, and I understand that this isn't all going to necessarily come as fast as we think it is. Um, Particularly with Elon has certain goals, like the robo taxis were supposed to be out and done by the end of last year with FSD, but obviously that's still not in place, right? We're getting closer with all the beta releases, but we're still not there. Um, so as far as my account is concerned, my few options I have is continue doing what I'm doing, continue to roll, um, based on my thesis that the stock price will go up. And in reality, I could roll it out indefinitely, right? It's even if it drops down to 500, most everything I have is like 700 or so. So I could roll those out for a year or two, or three. Like that really wouldn't matter too much as far as like my overall long term um, gains in that account. Um, and that is, of course, me basing everything on thinking that it's going to go up. But I realize the market doesn't care what I think or what I feel or what anybody else feels. It's based on who's willing to value it at X amount of dollars. And maybe we're past the time where FOMO is kicking in and people are buying stock just because they see it going up. and wanting to own it as opposed to believing and valuing the company. So that's one option. And when I look at that, so I have several months to deal with it. Most of my stuff I've pushed out for months. And if it goes down, I can continue to roll, continue to see like as, because I'll be on the other side of the theta, right? It's like it's burning the other way. So I will see a slow decline in the account unless or until Tesla stock goes back up. If everything goes flat, I'd be in a great position. If everything goes up, I'd be in a great position. And so looking down the road, if it's up, obviously I don't regret that. Sideways, I don't regret that. If the continue goes down and I just bleed off, I do regret that, because then I can't take advantage of collecting premium, rolling out, and building up that way. I also could just inject more money into the account, which is an option, right? We could actually put $50,000 on there and then basically kind of start over, right? Start selling stuff way down at the 400s or something, just way down there, or wait for it to cool off and inject some money. I could do that. The other option is close out all the positions and take that money and then wait for some confirmation that we have an upside or have found a bottom, and then start selling my way back there. I would have to do the math on it to see what actually would make more sense, but I also can't project what exactly is going to happen with the market, up, down, or sideways. But I could project what those three scenarios would look like for me. So if it goes back up, where does that put me collecting a certain percentage of my collateral's premium every week or every 2 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever. And if I choose to do that, take all the account's money and start rolling it over like that, and then all of a sudden we see a huge price increase, like some news comes out, which is one of my biggest fears, is that news comes out and then all of a sudden it skyrockets, because we've seen that time and time again, is like overnight, the right tweet, the right news, or something like that comes out, and then all of a sudden it skyrockets. And then if I've already liquidated everything and put them into new lower positions, or if I'm just holding cash, then I don't get to take advantage of any of that. So my journey back to where I was is going to be way longer. And as I was talking about things that I have going against me, one of the big things is, for me, things have just always worked out. Like, I've had the most ridiculous, perfect timing of so many things in my life, that is probably working against me as well, just because I feel like I keep doing what I think, don't listen to other people. It doesn't matter, like, any external forces, as long as I kind of keep on my track, then everything seems to work out. But that's not a great reason for, that's not a great reason behind any strategy at all. So, after hours, it looked like bond rates are still going up. S&P was selling off, and Tesla went all the way down to the wall at 600. There's definitely in the book, there was a lot of buy orders at 600, but they went from about 15, I think there was 15,000 orders all the way down to 3. So somebody bottomed that out. So there's a decent chance tomorrow that will open up pretty far down. But again, some of these days where we see these crazy reactions, then all of a sudden we see huge bounces. And I've seen that enough to where that's also kind of a scary point. Like, as soon as I close out my positions, is that when it's going to skyrocket? Is that when the news comes out? So these are just all the thoughts that are going through my head right now, and just wanted to share those. I will I'll probably just think about it a little bit more tonight, a little bit more tomorrow. I may or may not post like a account update tomorrow. It's probably going to be the value is probably going to be around like 130 on the opening, but really that number's not really consequential to me. It's more about just documenting what I'm doing and my thought process about what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, and like when I'm opening my trades, I like to talk about it, or just my thoughts in general. The other factor here is, even though the account's down that much, I still have, in that account, I have 180 shares or so, down basically a couple $100. So that's already about, that's $50,000 right there. And that to me is super solid, right? So I'm not planning on, and like, even it doesn't matter how far down it goes. I mean, further down, great. My daily purchases just get me more and more shares, and I'm fully confident that 5-10 years from now, that is a ridiculously low amount to pay now for what that's going to become. I mean, like, all together, I have three accounts that hold quite a bit of stock. So like between all of them, it's like 300 some thousand, maybe $315,000 worth of stock. And none of that bothers me, especially like when it's sitting all alone in another account, and that's all I do is I just put money in there and just buy on a regular basis. So anyhow, if you made it this far, thanks for listening to me. Give me your thoughts. Give me your comments. What do you guys think? What are you guys gonna do? I'm gonna try to make some decisions tomorrow, and maybe execute on them. I also don't want to be too quick on it. I don't want to be too quick, but I also don't want to be too slow and not react. So I've made both of those mistakes for sure. I've not been quick enough reacting, and that's what I did right before it bounced back up. So anyways, hope you guys have a great day, great night. Love you guys. Thank you. Hopefully tomorrow, next week, we'll make a lot of money.